everyone. It's Sean Weckel with Relo at eXp Realty coming at you with our July 2024 Bend market update. So diving right into numbers, we are at $775,000 for our median price. That's up 2.8% here month over month. Median days on market is sitting at 15. That's up 33%. 145 total closings, up 11.7%, and then 3.5 months of inventory, that's up 14.3% here. So that's a big stat, a big number that we're going to talk about a little bit more as we go through the presentation today. Looking at MLS data for Bend, which is single family homes for sale between 400,000 and 2.4 million. We had 632 total listings here. That's an increase of 17.7% month over month, 47 median days on market, which is up 8.5%, 289 listings with a changed price. That's up almost 25%. So lots of price corrections going on. And average change from marginal price is down about 5.6% or 15.2% change here month over month. So looking at our inventory graph, I mentioned this was a big stat moving into this month. We are officially at the highest level of inventory in a very long time here in the Bend market. Looking back at June 2021, we were at 0.7 months of inventory. We dropped as low as 0.3 months of inventory in January 2022. Raised back up to around 2 months in July 2022, and then have yo-yoed between 1 and 2 months of inventory all the way into May of this year, where we hit 3 months, and now June at 3.5 months. So a lot more inventory to choose from than we've had in a very long time. Moving forward to the question of whether it's a buyer's market, a neutral market, or a seller's market. So looking at this graph, it still places our local market here in Bend as a seller's market. There's some nuances to that in the sense that if sellers are pricing their homes wrong, there are a lot of corrections going on. And then I do want to mention that inventory number as well. So when you condense it and look at it relative, right now is the best time to buy and Bend in a very long time when it comes to inventory and the price adjustments that are going on. Now, with that said, if you are a seller, your listing is selling quickly if you price it right and you're of high quality relative to your neighborhood. And that's why we still see this line sitting in that seller's market category, because homes still are moving quick if the right strategy is in place. Moving forward to 30-year mortgage rates, another important statistic to pay attention to, even though I know most all of us are sick of hearing about this. We've had those high rates for so long, but the good news is they are trending down. As you can see, early in the spring, we were peaking back up above that 7.4, closer to 7.5% mark. And we've been trending overall in the downward direction all the way to 6.85% or so, which is where we are as of today. There has been volatility with this graph, which we do expect to continue, but overall rates should be trending down as we head through the next year. We'll talk about that more here on this next slide. So mortgage rate projections, this is as of June 2024 from Fannie Mae, MBA, NAR, and then the average of all three. I'm going to focus on the average here. We're looking at 2024 Q3, right at that 6.83% mark, again, where we're sitting right now. As we go into Q4, 6.67%, so slightly lower. And then Q1 and Q2 of 2025, we're looking at a projection of 6.5 and 6.4% respectively. So with rates trending down, likely creating some more demand. The other curveball with this is the election that's coming up that has the potential to slow down the market as well. All things we'll talk about more here in just a moment. Moving forward to median price per square foot. So we're sitting at $374 per square foot here in the city of Bend. I mentioned that's kind of creeping back up towards an all-time high. As you can see, back in 2022, we're at $389, $383, even $380 in July, and getting close to that number here on a number of occasions. So really the highest we've seen this spring, it was $366 back in March, $374 now, and rivaling some of those top numbers here from just a year or two ago. Looking at days on market, those were trending up slightly for sold properties. We're at 15 in the month of June, and we're down at 10 here just the last few months. So as I mentioned, that's still a quick sell for a lot of listings when they're priced right and of high quality for their neighborhood. So if you're a buyer, keeping an eye on inventory, making sure you're getting into properties as soon as they're listed, especially if you feel like the price is right. And then for sellers, really developing a nuanced, specific strategy for your listing and sticking to it to make sure you stay ahead of the market and the game. So looking at number of sales, as I mentioned, those creeped up slightly from May to June. We were at 128 total sales in May and then 145 in June. That's still down from 162 in April of this year, and then much further below some of those numbers from 2021, with the exception as we head into some of the colder months there in winters from 2023 into 2024. So the bottom line, what does all of this mean? Inconsistency is the only constant in today's market. So a lot to pay attention to and a lot of inconsistencies and volatility, whether you're talking about interest rates or sales. So all the more reason to stay on top of all of this info. We've got bullish factors. Rates are under 7% and trending lower. Again, as those rates drop, we'll see what that does to demand and potentially what it does to prices. Bearish factors, inventory is trending higher. So more choices for buyers, and we're looking at, will that leave some sellers out of the equation? So another thing to pay attention to is those inventory levels as we head into the second half of summer here. Now is the time to buy before during the election slowdowns. The market will likely slow down here as we head into those election months. Historically, it has. So please just be aware of that if you're in the market to either sell or buy moving forward. Lastly, sellers do need to be patient if they can afford to be. If not, they need to be aggressive. So in many cases, the right buyer can come out of the woodworks. We just don't always know when that's going to happen. So you need to be patient. You need to be able to work with this market if you have the time to do so. If you don't have that time and you need to move your property, you do need to be aggressive, right? Both in terms of where you start with your pricing and then making price adjustments if it's warranted to stay ahead of the market and in front of buyers. If you have any questions or concerns, please feel free to reach out to myself or any of my Ben Relo teammates. We're always happy to have a conversation, chat, and get you some more insight regarding this dynamic market. I hope you have a great finish to your July. We'll look forward to seeing you back here in early August for our next market update.